Hello everyone, welcome to a new session. Today we are going to study chapter 5, refraction through a lens. Before we understand how the refraction is taking place through a lens, let us try to understand some basics about a lens. All of you are familiar with the term lens and its uses. The word lens is derived from a Latin word lentils. Lens is derived from a Latin word lentils. All of you must have seen lentil seeds. What is the shape of a lentil seed? It is flat, round and bulging at the middle, somewhat like this. Lenses are integral part of many optical devices like camera, telescope, binocular, microscope and many other devices. As you know, the working principle of a lens is refraction. Then how a lens is made up of? A lens is made up of transparent optical medium like glass. A lens is bound by either two spherical surfaces, it is bound by two spherical surfaces or one plane surface or other one spherical surface. Clear? Yes. It is made up of transparent optical medium like glass. Then there are two types of lens, kind of lenses. There are two types of lens. First one is convex lens. It is also known as converging lens. Converging lens. Then what is a convex lens? How does it look like? A convex lens is a lens which is thicker at the middle and thinner at its edges. It is thicker at the middle and thinner at its edges as shown on the board. Clear? And what is a concave lens? How it looks like? The second type of lens is known as concave lens. It is also known as diverging lens. Diverging lens. A concave lens, how does it look like? A concave lens is thinner at the middle and thicker at the edges, like this. It is thinner at the middle, thicker at the edges, just opposite of concave lens. Clear? So it is also known as biconvex lens. Biconvex or equiconvex lens. Equiconvex lens. Simply we call it as convex lens. It is also known as biconcave lens, biconcave or equiconcave lens. Okay. So why it is called biconvex lens? Because it has two curved surfaces. Here two curved surfaces which is bulging at the middle. Here it has two curved surfaces which is bent inward. That's why it is known as biconcave lens or equiconcave lens. Simply we call it as concave lens. Is it clear? Okay. Now let us have a look at the action of a lens or how the refraction is taking place through a lens. The basic principle of a lens is refraction. The refraction through a lens can be understood by considering a lens as being made up of combination of rectangular glass slab and two prism on either side of the lens. So the refraction through a lens can be easily understood by understanding the construction of a lens. Now let us see how a convex lens is made up of. A convex lens. A convex lens is considered as being made up of rectangular glass slab. A rectangular glass slab at its middle and two prisms on either side of the glass slab. Two prisms on either side of the glass slab. Two prisms on either side of the glass slab. You can see that a lens has a prism in its upper part with its base pointing downward, and in the lower part the convex lens has a prism with its base pointing upward. So this forms a convex lens. Okay, the construction is clear to you. So a convex lens can be considered as being made up of rectangular glass slab. The central portion of the lens is made up of rectangular glass slab and two prisms on either side of the lens, such that the upper part of the lens has a prism with its base pointing downward, and the lower part of the lens has a prism with the base pointing upward. Clear? A convex lens is also known as converging lens. How does the converging action take place? Let us see. As you know, a ray of light passing or falling on a glass slab perpendicularly passes and deviates. Okay? For normal incidence, there is no refraction. Now a ray of light incidenting on the prism, after it suffers refraction, after refraction it bends towards the base of the prism. You have already learned it. When a ray of light passing through the prism, it always bends towards the base of the prism. Next, a ray of light passing through the second prism, after refraction it will always bends towards the base of the prism, bending towards the base of the prism. Now how does it look like? Two parallel rays of light, after refraction it converge at a point. It converge at a point which is lying on the principal axis. So that's why convex lens is known as converging lens. Converging lens. Clear? Or a convex lens has got converging action on a parallel light rays. Clear? Yes. Once you understand the construction of a convex lens, we can study the action of a convex lens. Now what about a concave lens? Concave. A concave lens can be considered as being made up of as a combination of glass slab at the middle and two prisms on either side. Let us see, a glass slab at the middle and two prisms on either side, such that upper part of the lens has a prism whose base is pointing upward. Clear? And the lower part of the lens has a prism whose base is pointing downward. Clear? So it forms a concave lens. We can see a concave lens, okay, which is thinner at the middle, thicker at the edges. Now let us study the action, how the concave lens work, or how the refraction through a concave lens takes place. A ray of light incidenting normally on a glass slab passes undeviated. Now a ray of light incidenting on the upper part of the prism, after refraction it bends towards the base of the prism. Clear? Now a ray of light incidenting on the lower part of the prism, after refraction it bends towards the base of the prism. And as a result, you can see when the rays of light traveling through a concave lens, after refraction it is diverging, it is moving away. Here in this case, convex lens, the light rays was meeting at a particular point. Here the light rays are moving away from the lens. Clear? So concave lens is known as diverging lens. This is the diverging action of a concave lens. So we can say that a concave lens has diverging action on a parallel light rays incidenting on the lens. So convex lens is known as converging lens, concave lens is known as diverging lens. So this is the action of the lens. Clear? When we learn about construction and working of a lens, it is very important to know about some technical terms associated with a lens. First technical term associated with a lens is center of curvature. Center of curvature. What is center of curvature? If you consider the case of a convex lens is made up of two curved surfaces. curved surface 1 and curved surface 2. So the curved surface 1 is a part of an imaginary sphere, right? It's a part of an imaginary sphere. Or I can say this curved surface 1 is carved out of this imaginary sphere. And the spherical surface number 2 again is a part of an imaginary sphere. Clear? Or the curve, or I can say this spherical surface 2 is carved out of this imaginary sphere. Then what is center of curvature? Center of curvature is nothing but it is the center of the sphere of which the curved surface is a part. C1 for spherical surface 1 and C2 the center of a sphere of which the curved surface 2 is a part. So I can say C1 and C2 are the centers of curvature of the spherical surfaces 1 and 2 respectively. Clear? So center of curvature is nothing but it is the centers of a sphere, imaginary sphere of which the curved surface is a part. That we call it as center of curvature. Next is principal axis. Principal axis. What is principal axis? If you draw an imaginary line joining C1 and C2, an imaginary line passing through center of curvature, we call it as principal axis XY. I just name it as XY. Clear? So if you consider the case of a concave lens, what is the center of curvature of a concave lens? How does it look like? See, concave lens, we know it is thinner at the middle and thicker at the edges. So the two curved surfaces, curved surface 1 and curved surface 2 are the part of an imaginary sphere. Clear? Part of an imaginary sphere of which center of curvature C2, this is 2 curvature, this is surface curved surface 2 and curved surface 1 and C1. C1 and C2 are the center of the sphere of which the curved part of a lens is made up of. So C1 and C2 are the center of curvature of a concave lens. An imaginary line passing through the center of curvature, we call it as principal axis. Clear? Okay. Then what is the optical center? Next technical term is optical center. It is represented by letter O. The center of a lens, we call it as the geometric center of a lens, we call it as optical center. The center part, the center geometrical center of a lens, we call it as optical center, such that a ray of light traveling through the optical center passes undeviated. So remember that whenever a ray of light traveling through the optical center passes undeviated. Of course, when a ray of light traveling through this portion of the lens, there is slight lateral displacement is taking place. But the lens is very, very thin. When we consider the case of a thin lens, the lateral shift or the lateral displacement through the central portion of the lens is neglected. So as a whole, we consider that when a ray of light traveling through the optical center, passes undeviated. Okay, the central portion of the lens. Clear? Okay. So optical center, principal axis, center of curvature. Now what is radius of curvature? Radius of curvature. If you consider this lens as very thin, for optical uses we consider very fine and thinner lenses. When we consider this lens as very thin, I can write the distance between OC1, optical center, and center of curvature. I call it as radius of curvature. So the radius of curvature is equal to OC1, that's equal to OC2. Clear? So OC1 and OC2 are the radius of curvature of a lens. Clear? So in this case, OC1 and OC2. OC1 is equal to OC2. For, remember that, for very fine and thin lens, OC1 and OC2 are known as radius of curvature. Clear? Okay. The next important term is principal focus. What is a principal focus? Let us see. Principal focus, actually, let us consider the case of a convex lens. The center, optical center of a convex lens, O, principal axis, a ray of light ray passing through the optical center passes undeviated. So as you know, the rays of light traveling parallel to principal axis, after refraction, it will always travel through a point, it will meet at a point called principal focus. So principal focus is the meeting point of light rays after refraction through a convex lens. So we can say that principal focus is a point lying on the principal axis such that the rays of light traveling parallel to the principal axis after refraction, it will meet at that point. And this point we call it as, this meeting point we call it as principal focus. Clear? Okay. Next, what is focal length? Focal length, small f. The distance between, the linear distance between optical center and principal focus, we can call it as the focal length. What is focal length? The linear distance between optical center and the principal focus. We call it as focal length, represented by letter small f. Clear? So in case of a convex lens, the principal focus, or simply we call it as focus, it has a real focus. So the focus is real in case of a convex lens. Why the focus is real in case of a convex lens? Because rays of light after refraction, they actually meet at this point. You can see that these rays of light are actually meeting at this point. That's why this focus is real. Then what about the case of a concave lens? In case of a concave lens, you can see the rays of light traveling parallel to principal axis. After refraction, they diverge or they bend away from the principal axis. Clear? So for an observer looking from here, when he looks from the other side of the lens, he feels that these light rays after refraction appear to be diverging from a point. Where is this point? Just produce these light rays backward. When you produce these light rays backward, they meet at a point. That point is lying on the principal axis. That meeting point we call it as principal focus in case of a concave lens. Clear? So in case of a concave lens, the focus is virtual. Why it is virtual? It is not real, because here the light rays appear to be diverging from this point. We made it meet at a particular point at the principal focus. It's not the actual meeting point. So that's why it is known as virtual focus. Clear? So in case of a concave lens, the focus, the principal focus is a point lying on the principal axis such that the light rays appear to be diverging from this point. It appears to be diverging, shown by a dotted lines. Here dotted lines implies that there is no light rays reaching at that point. Clear? So a concave lens has a virtual focus and a convex lens has a real focus. And of course the distance between the principal focus and the optical center, we call it as the focal length, F. The distance between optical center and the principal focus, we call it as focal length of a concave lens. Clear? So the focal length regarding a lens is an important thing. We must know the focal length of a lens, whether it is concave or convex lens, because the focal length of a lens depends upon two factors. First of all, the refractive index of surrounding medium. For example, if a lens is placed in a water instead of air, its focal length increases, because there is, if you consider the normal case, on either side of the lens we have air. But when the medium is changed, when this lens is immersed in water, what happens? The refractive index of the surrounding medium changes, and as a result, when we immerse a lens in water, its focal length increases. Remember that. And also the focal length depends on radius of curvature. Radius of curvature of the spherical surfaces. A thick lens has less focal length than that of a thin lens of the same material. Remember that. Thicker lens. So this is a thicker lens, very thick, has less focal length. Less focal length. And if you consider a thin convex lens, it has more focal length. So remember that a thick lens has less focal length than that of the thinner lens. Clear? Is made up of, provided both they made up of the same material. Clear? Yes. Now, if a part of the lens is uncovered, part of a lens is covered, or part of a lens, for example, the upper part of a convex lens is blackened. Will there be any change in the nature of the image or position of the image? No. If a part of the lens is covered, its focal length remains unchanged. There is no change in the focal length. Clear? The focal length remains unchanged, but only the amount of light entering into the lens decreases, and as a result, the intensity of the image formed by the lens will be little fainter. The intensity of the image or the brightness of the image will be affected, but the position, size and the nature of the image formed by the lens will remain unchanged. It doesn't change. Clear? The points which we have discussed, clear to you? I hope all of you understood the points. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.